Brought to you by the Las Cruces Sun-News. This is Straight Shooter.
Happy holidays, everybody. This is Justin Martinez, aka Jade the Sports Dude, and if you are listening right now, let me just say thank you for tuning in to Straight Shooter, the podcast where I shoot from the hip and give you everything that you need to know about the New Mexico State men's basketball team. This is episode 8 of our season-long journey, so if you're a returning listener, then welcome back. I missed you, and if you're new to the program, well then welcome to the family. Where have you been all my life? Guys, we have a great episode in store for us this evening, so let's jump right into it. I'm coming to you from a place that I like to call the Saloon. So Barkeep, what do we have on tap for today?
On tap today is a recap of the Mississippi State game, an interview with Shawn Buchanan, and a preview of the Northern New Mexico game.
Alrighty, thank you, Barkeep. I have my lasso in hand, and it's time for our post-game roundup, segment where I round up my thoughts on the most recent New Mexico State game. And in this case, the Aggies had a pair of games this past week. They earned a 65-40 home win over Arkansas Pine Bluff on Wednesday, followed by a 58-52 road win against Mississippi State on Sunday. Now, my first takeaway is from New Mexico State's game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and it's that this team is completely different when Ivan Aracoechea is calling for the basketball. Now, the senior forward didn't get off to the best start this season, guys. He was averaging 7.8 points and 3.8 rebounds while shooting just 59% from the free throw line through the month of November. All of those stats were a pretty noticeable decline from last season's stats. However, this guy's been turning it around as of late. He's getting into the Christmas spirit. In the month of December, the Spaniard is averaging 10.8 points and 6.5 boards. Now, he is still shooting 53.6% from the charity stripe, which is worth mentioning and something he definitely has to improve on. But the game against the Golden Lions hopefully will mark a turning point in that department. He went 9 for 13 from the free throw line, and this guy just looks so much more aggressive than he did earlier this season. Now, hopefully this will continue because the addition of players such as Evan Gilyard II, AJ Harris, Clayton Henry, which I will get into more later on in this podcast, they don't really affect Ivan's minutes or his role since he is a big man. And with bigs such as CJ Bobbitt and Johnny McCants really spreading the court, the Aggies still need Ivan to be that grinded out type of player in the paint, and he's been doing a great job with that lately. But now let's get into my roundup number 2. So speaking of Johnny McCants, guys, my second takeaway is from New Mexico State's win over Mississippi State, and it's that the redshirt junior isn't arriving next season once the seniors graduate. No, this guy is arriving right now. So McCants recorded a game high and a career high 18 points against the Bulldogs on 7 for 10 shooting, 3 for 6 shooting from deep, by the way, to go along with a trio of rebounds. He scored the first 4 points of the game, the first 5 points of the second half, and he had a key bucket with 2 minutes left, a really nice step back shot to give his team the lead. So this guy was involved from start to finish. He was that dude. So congratulations to you, Johnny, aka the Cruces Crusader, on a career night. And it was actually McCants' second straight start as well. So he's now averaging a plus minus of 11.5 points as a starter. And I don't want to put too much weight on that because Jansen said multiple times this season he's really more concerned with who's going to finish the game for him, which I think he's spot on about. But for the sake of this segment, I do think the CJ Bobbitt works just fine in that second unit. Getting Gilyard eligible gives the bench some scoring, and Toro Brown or Jabari Rice, whoever comes off the bench moving forward, is also going to put the ball through the hoop. So I'm personally good with McCants starting, and he makes it hard for you not to be good with the guys. He looks quick at that power forward spot. He's taking those shots from deep that he wasn't doing last season, and he has an effective field goal percentage of 61.9%, which is the highest on the team. So he's not forcing it. He's just a really great fit, and it's clear that he plays a considerable role for the Aggies right now. But now let's get into roundup number 3. So my final takeaway is also from New Mexico State's game against Mississippi State, and it's that the backcourt is back. Now, as all of you guys know, the Aggies we've seen these past 2 months or so have not been the team that we'll see at the end of the season due to injuries, but they're starting to look more like it. So the first player to join the squad was UTEP transfer Evan Gilyard II, who got deemed eligible to play for the first time against Arkansas Pine Bluff. He put up some modest stats in 17 minutes, but he really burst onto the scene against Mississippi State. The junior guard recorded 14 points and 3 assists in 20 minutes off the bench, and let me tell you, this dude is electric, guys. He's so fast, he's so confident offensively in particular, and he brings a whole new dynamic to a backcourt where players such as Shawn Buchanan are more so focused on defense, and Sean Williams has been more of a spot-up shooter this year. Gilyard, however, can create for both himself and his teammates, and I think he's going to continue to thrive off the bench in a very similar role to what we've seen Jabari Rice have so far if Rice does continue to be the starter, then I think Gilyard is going to fit in really well at that 6-man spot. Now, the other player to join the squad this week was A.J. Harris, who's been out with a fractured finger. Now, Harris got cleared for contact drills on Thursday. He practiced for 2 days with the team in and out and decided that he was ready to go on Sunday against the Bulldogs. Now, he recorded 3 points and 2 assists on 1 for 6 shooting in 17 minutes. But honestly, I'm really not looking into those numbers at all because they're almost the same as Gilyard's stats against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we saw what the dude did in the next game. The important takeaway is that Harris is back. He still had that speed to him, and he still was able to create for his teammates. The Aggies are now just missing Clayton Henry, who Jan said was 2 or 3 days, maybe a game behind AJ in the recovery process. Now, Jan said that last Monday, so it has been a little while, but either way, the team should be getting him back very soon, and this team is looking a lot more like the WAC title team that we have seen the past couple seasons. So that buzzer means that is all the time we have for Lasso Up, and now it is time for our second segment where we are back to player interviews, guys. Now, with all the talk around Evan Gilyard II's eligibility and A.J. Harris's return, it's easy to overlook who has been holding it down this season at the point guard spot, Mr. Shawn Buchanan. I got to talk to the senior that Jans claims is the biggest glue guy on the team about how he handled the bigger role at the start of the season and how much he enjoys being one of those gritty players that every squad needs. This interview was done after the Pine Bluff game, just to put it out there, guys. So it is before the Mississippi State game, but I still think it's a great listen. So let me stop talking, though. Barkeep, change the channel real quick.
You got it, boss.
Yeah, just starting off, obviously got into that starting role this season with AJ being out. Hate for it to be because of that, but just how much have you really embraced this role, a bigger role on the team this season?
Just try to go in every night, just do my job, and just try to help my team win most as I can, just affect the game defensively.
Yeah, definitely. What's AJ been just like as a teammate on the sideline? Is just constant support?
Yeah, it's constant support. It's been that way even when I was coming off the bench and he was starting. He would always support me and just always encourage me to be aggressive. And he's been good, just trying to help me out.
Yeah. You guys have been playing together for a while now. Just what's the relationship like with you and him?
It's a very funny relationship just because we always joke with each other and just know we both the PGs, so we just try to help each other as much as we can. Stuff he see that I don't see, he help me with, and stuff I see he don't see, I help him with it.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of talked about it before, but it seems like you think of the bucket getters on the team, Trevor Quinn, players like that, but I think you really have kind of an underappreciated role, just defensive guy, gritty guy. You kind of embrace that, being someone who's kind of focusing on more the defense.
Yeah, ever since I got here, I kind of just embraced that role because I know defense wins games, and we got enough offensive players that I don't have to be an offensive player, so I just try to stick to my role and let them do the scoring.
Yeah. Spotlight, this isn't really important to you, stuff like that? Is it more just getting the wins that's important?
I think I have a good enough spotlight for averaging 2 or 3 points, just playing my role. People really embrace me with that, and people really accept me for what I do. And the fans love it, so I just continue to do it. My coach loves it, so I do it.
Yeah, for sure. You guys just got Evan back, and then a couple more guys hopefully coming back soon. Just can you talk about just where the confidence is at with the team?
We still just trying to, at this point, we still trying to figure things out. We're just getting used to each other even more and just trying to play more together and have more flow. And just by Evan adding to the teams, good guard and good scorer, so it's adding more depth and it's going to be nice.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned just right now that you guys have kind of had a bit of an underdog role this year, a little bit different from the past couple of years because you guys have just been so dominant. Is this kind of something you guys are really embracing and getting to appreciate, just kind of being a little bit overlooked? And
it's kind of been that way anyway, even though we was expected to win the WAC all the time. We always kind of been the underdogs just because New Mexico State. So we just embrace that role and we try to call ourselves underdogs anyway, no matter what our record are.
Yeah, definitely. And I like to end all of these podcasts with just a couple of nickname ideas. If you have some time, just like to bounce a couple off your head, see what you think about them.
My teammates call me Shizzy.
Shizzy?
So Shizzy B.
Shizzy B, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to roll with any of these, but I still want to just hear what you think about them.
All right.
So first one, you're from Mississippi, right? How you feeling about the Mississippi Menace? What are you thinking about that one?
I like that one. I like that one.
All right.
I like that one.
And we got another one. We know that really good facilitator, so passing is your strength. So how about the cannon because of your arm?
I like that one. I never thought of any of these, so they all good to me.
Okay.
Either one.
Yeah.
I like Menace because my
Menace?
defense.
Okay. And I got one more for you. Really shifty guard. So how about Shimmy Shawn? What are you feeling about that one?
I like Shimmy Shawn because I like the
3
dance
for 3
too.
so far.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's all. Which one was your favorite? Just wondering.
Mississippi Menace kind of because it really described me because I'm a menace on the ball and Mississippi where I'm from. I love where I'm from and I try to put on for it every day. And we just learned that Mississippi just have grit and be grimy and just defense, I guess. I'm a menace.
Definitely,
Mississippi
man.
Menace.
Definitely. Well, that's all that I have. I appreciate it so much. Best of luck out there in Mississippi State.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys, so that was Shawn Buchanan talking about his role with the team. Again, you need guys like that on the squad, and I appreciate him taking the time to talk to me. So shout out to you, Shawn, if you're listening to this. Also, he's messing with the Mississippi Menace. I think it fits, but apparently he already goes by Shizzy B, which I gotta say, I'm not mad at it, guys. So anyways, if you want to get to know more about Buchanan's impact, I'm going to be putting out an article tomorrow morning that really dives into just how much he does for the Aggies. But let's move on to segment number 3, which is a preview of the upcoming New Mexico State game. And in this case, up next on the schedule for the Aggies is a home game against Northern New Mexico on Sunday at 4 p.m. The Eagles are a 3-11 NAIA squad, so it's definitely not the stiffest competition, but I'm still here to tell you who the Aggies need to watch out for. The top player to watch out for on this Eagle squad is Naquan Solomon, a 6'5" senior that is a walking bucket. The shooting guard / small forward is averaging a team high 18.5 points per game this season, but in the last 5 games, he's actually averaging 25.2 points per contest, guys. He will shoot the 3 ball, but he's at his best when he's getting to the rim and getting to the foul line as well. Expect him to have the ball in his hands a lot on Sunday, and we'll see if New Mexico State can contain him. Another player to watch out for is Tyreke Weaver, a 6'7" junior averaging 14.9 points and a team high 6.8 boards per game. Now, Weaver is a very similar player to Johnny McCants in the sense that he's a mobile big that can shoot from deep and also hold his own on the glass, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. And now this is normally, guys, where I like to give my keys to success, but you know that we are straight shooters around these parts, guys. So with an NAIA squad, the Aggies don't exactly have to play perfect basketball in order to win. Let's just be honest. So instead of doing that, I'm going to talk about what I think New Mexico State can work on in this game before they begin WAC play with a road contest against a very good California Baptist team on January 4th. And the first thing is to place an emphasis on free throws. Now, what's interesting is that the Aggies have attempted 232 free throws this season compared to the 233 that their opponents have attempted. So only a 1 free throw difference, almost the exact same. However, New Mexico State has only made 153 of them compared to the 179 that their opponents have made. That is a 26 free throw difference, and that is actually what can decide a couple of these really close games. So something that they have to clean up, and it's just a matter of focus and conditioning. And I think the Sunday's game is the perfect opportunity to do just that. Get to the line at will and see if you can knock down those freebies and build some momentum. And speaking of momentum, guys, I'm also looking for Toro Brown to get more involved in this offense. Now, everybody had a feast against Western New Mexico in the season opener because the Mustangs are a Division II team, but Brown didn't play in that game. Now, his season high is only 6 points so far this year, but this is a matchup that is as good as it gets for the rest of the year. I say let him go to work and build some of that confidence before WAC play begins, because the Aggies need him to play like last year's version if they want to really succeed this season. Now it is time for my prediction, so can I get a drum roll, please? So for this one, guys, I'm going with New Mexico State by a score of 94-48. Again, this is not a knock on Northern New Mexico. No disrespect meant towards them, but they just don't have the firepower to keep up on the scoreboard with a Division I squad. I do still think this is a game that is important for the Aggies because it's a chance to test a couple things out, maybe even try some guys in different roles, etc. before WAC play begins, but that's about all that there is to it. Anyways, that is going to do it for episode 8 of Straight Shooter. If you enjoyed listening, please leave a like on YouTube or SoundCloud, or retweet on Twitter, all of that good stuff. Also, I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. I unfortunately kicked off my Christmas vacation by getting sick. So again, I apologize for that. But anyways, guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you're having a great couple of days. This has been Justin Martinez, aka Jay the Sports Dude, and I'll see you all next Monday. I'm out.